presentation will now come to order. The time is 6:05. Sandy, take roll.
Mr. Randy Cordova,
Present.
Ms. Antoinette Martinez, present. Ms. Sandy Hopkins, present. Ms. Lucy Martin, present. And Mr. Pedro Valdez.
Present. Thank you. Moving on to number 3, Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Pedro, you guys. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Moving on to the agenda, is there any changes?
Not that I can think of.
Okay, with that, could I have a motion? I move. Motion by Pedro, second by Lucy, all in favor? Motion carries. Moving on to approval and signature of minutes for regular board meeting, April 14, 2026. The motion?
And motion to approve.
Motion by Sandy, second by Anthony, all in favor? Motion carries. Moving on, public comment. I see Aurora Henderson.
Yes.
Public comments will be limited only to what's on the agenda, and you have 3 minutes.
Okay. Well, good evening, Mr. Board President and board members. So according to what let's see, I don't know how to say this against the agenda, but anyway, since the last board meeting I know was about the budget and whatnot, and I think most of the concerns, but it's on the agenda for Lightbrook School. I'm not sure if there's going to be, because one thing was discussing that the middle school is going to be removed and basically be out here in Coronado. That's just, I think, one thing that a lot of parents are wondering about. So I don't know if you guys can answer questions now or if it has to be a discussion later on, but I think that's just one thing that's really on the mind of the parents at Lightbrook. And since we don't have a PAC at Lightbrook, I figured I'd come out and say something about that, because nobody else, there's, like I said, there's no PAC at Lightbrook. So now what we're wondering, a lot of parents are wondering, is if there's going to be a middle school at Lightbrook and the sports athletics at Lightbrook. Because that's one thing that I know when at Lightbrook they have, attendance is very high for athletics at Lightbrook when there's athletics. So I just wanted to basically let you guys know that if we take that away, a lot of students will be removed from the school. A lot of students will be going elsewhere. And I know there's surrounding schools by Lightbrook, which is, like 5 other schools there. So it's not guaranteed that they'll be coming here to Coronado. So I just wanted to put that out there. Hopefully you guys will be able to discuss that, to see what we can do to try to keep Lightbrook. I have one son that goes to school there, but I have numerous nieces and nephews and also, friends of their kids all go to school there. So hopefully that becomes a discussion on whether or not, we keep the middle school at Lightbrook and also athletics. So that's just the comment I wanted to make, to make sure that, we can discuss that maybe at a later time, maybe next, I don't know. But I just wanted to put that out there and give a little talk. That was it. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to presentations. Open for discussion, employee recognition. Systems go, Ms. Irish. Oh, we'll just do both of them together, right? Both of them together? NASA.
Yeah, the NASA and systems go is pretty much the same thing, and do that, and we'll go back to the other one, the employee recognition.
Oh.
I'm sorry? I
You could log into the meeting on Zoom and share.
Turn their volume.
Request it? Did you request it?
It doesn't ask for two.
It doesn't say that you requested it?
Like that's
We need Miss Irish to come over here. Come around that way, though.
or Crystal.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm not touching it anymore, I'll mess it up.
I don't know.
So, participants, yeah, most tools.
Mr. Cushman, I don't know if you can hear us, but nobody can hear on Zoom.
Okay, we can hear you.
Audio's on. You can't hear us at all? Yeah, audio's on,
Yeah,
because
but
that's
that's
just done it.
says it's on. Can you hear us now?
Can barely hear. We can't pick up anything particular.
Turn up the owl all the way, maybe?
Yes, I'll try it. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? It's picking it up from your, is this plugged into your computer then?
Yeah, it's plugged in.
Don't plug it in again. This one. This one. Can you hear me? Can you hear us now, Grace?
We can't hear at all.
It is, but it's.
This is to the owl.
So on your settings,
This is to the computer.
I'm used to Teams,
It
not
says
to
it's
Zoom.
on voice canceling now.
Okay. Then I'm not sure why it's not.
Is it maybe down here?
Is it on there?
How many people is it?
See, the video's off, but it's because I think she's sharing it.
Original sound from.
Microphone or the speaker receiving?
That's a
Speaker.
Can you hear us now?
See, it's echoing.
Can you hear us now, Doris?
You need to turn
Yeah.
it.
Yes.
Okay.
But I don't know if it's gonna echo. Is it gonna echo? If it
All right.
echoes,
Call me if you can.
Does it start echoing?
we'll see.
All right, good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the Board of Supervisors, Cushman, and everyone here present tonight. We are thankful for the opportunity to present this year's success for, of our rocket launch held last month in Jal, New Mexico. Our students worked incredibly hard and demonstrated outstanding dedication, and perseverance throughout this entire experience. And through teamwork, commitment, and they successfully passed stages 1 through 3 and were able to successfully launch the rocket before the cutoff time. There is like a
And countdown. 8, 7, 6, 5,
4, 3, 2, 1, ignition. Okay, that's going all the way to the moon.
Guys.
So that was really, really great to see, especially in person. I wish I could share that excitement and pride and joy as we launch our first rocket of our school. So we would like to thank our partners with JAL. They're able to accommodate us with our revision. Well, you can tell it was like 24/7 experience. Like the kids were late lunch, late dinner, and they're very determined to finish their rocket with a lot of modification changes in the rocket. They be like, thank God we passed stages 1, 2, 3. And I always tell them it's not just about the launching the rocket, it's the entire process that made the experience really worthy. So again, we would like to thank personally, and the kids were really grateful that our superintendent were there, very supportive. And of course, our CTE coordinator and all teachers, community, business managers, everyone, all of you, thank you so much. This is just a tremendous achievement for our district.
Also want to add echo what Ms. Sarah said. Thank you, Superintendent Coach. We had some issues down there, but you being down there really made things a lot smoother. So I appreciate that. Ms. Gallegos as well. Thank you so much for providing the funding for it. But ultimately, the students, like Ms. Sarah said, to see the success. Day one, we're out there, and then finally when they were able to do it, this brought a lot of pride and joy to myself and others. So, and then all the partners she mentioned from JAL, Dexter High School, and all those folks, it was a real team effort. And to see that, I see that pride in the students right now. So it's something that I really said I'm super proud to be part of that process.
Yes, and we hope that you will continue to support this program, this endeavor for this next school year and for the years to come. And we claim that. As this opportunity truly brings aerospace engineering into our school, inspire our students to pursue innovation, teamwork, and future career pathways. And speaking of career pathways, the team, a week after that, the team were able to visit NASA, and also opportunity to visit University of Central Florida and Florida Tech University. It was just also a wonderful, incredible opportunity to visit those places. I for myself, it's my first time to visit Florida. So, and it's also my dream to go to NASA. And I always tell my kids, for 33 years, like, it's the dream that you with my students, and I'm happy to share that experience with the kiddos. So this experiences really gave the students hands-on exposure of the real world. So you can see in that one picture right there, there's some rockets displayed at the University of Central Florida. And they were really amazed at how college life worked and university work, and how there's tons of opportunity out there outside of Mexico that can offer aerospace engineering and STEM related programs. Again, this opportunity would not be possible without your support, and of course, all the things that you financially and everything for our students.
Again, thank you. And we do have a couple of students that participated on the arena and Maryville. So if you guys have any questions, I'm gonna put them on the spot. And if you guys have any questions in that process, from just coming up with the concept of the rocket to flying it, and then to actually see rockets at NASA go up in the air. So I hope they can share some of their experiences as well, because it was a super what an experience.
And if you're wondering, there's a very soon, it's the Coronado rocket. Hopefully next year we'll have 2 teams. We'll be inviting the upcoming freshmen next year, and we will try to have more students also involved for this program. Again, thank you.
Mr. President, if I may, I would like to put the students on the spot. So I'd like all of them that are here tonight to come up here. Right. Just stand over there together and look guilty of something. I have a couple things to say. I've been doing the rocket program for a number of years. I hadn't missed the last couple of years. The neat thing of this rocket launch is that it's friendly competition. All the other teams are rooting together, and the JAL schools helped you all out a lot. How late were you there that one night? No, I want them to speak. Make them speak. Okay, that one night, and I was just trying to get, there's little mistakes or things that go wrong last minute, and all the teams work together. And Dallas Schools is kind of the founding school district for this, and their superintendent was offered continuing support for our kids. They have the finances down there with the big oil and all that, and but for me personally, I've been out of the schoolroom for a couple of years, as most of you know. And our small school, one of the things I like about small schools is our kids are involved in everything. These same kids were involved with the BPA that you'll hear about here in a few minutes, but I got to know some of them, and that sophomore class is the core of this program. And they're gonna continue, and they did us proud, very polite. I got more comments and compliments for our school district than I've ever heard from any school that I've been involved in. About our teamwork, our team leaders there, these two teachers that were there, and trips to the hospital unrelated to the rocket launch. Just the care of the whole team, and they work very well together, so that's enough, but these young ladies are starting to give me a hard time, which I, as a dad and grandpa, I love that, so, it was just a great time, so. Do us proud, all of you, so thank you. Congratulations.
Okay, moving on to employee recognition. For all of the years of service, this is the Arsenio office.
Mr. Cushman. How do you take off her screen?
What was it?
How do you take off her screen?
I have no idea.
Oh, there. She got it. She got it.
Now, we need to get a picture of you and the board president.
You want to say?
Yes, that was. He tried to bail out of tonight's meeting. So.
Show your.
So have there, Mr. Fuller.
I just so you know what it says. It says, with our deepest appreciation and honor of your dedication and years of loyal service, a time to look back with admiration, a time to look forward with anticipation. Best wishes and congratulations on your retirement of your family, Hemmes Mountain Public School.
Mr. Donna. So Donna, come on up. What you'd like to help me? One of those one, they put your accidentally have your maiden name come up on there, so you can keep that one if you want, or keep it and we'll give you the right one.
That's been 2 years ago.
There was just a little glitch in your software, but they'll fix it and get you a new one. Thank you for everything you do. Mr. President,
Enjoy your retirement. Both of you.
Thank you.
so I've already got commitments from Donna to come back as a substitute next year, right?
Sir.
And Mr. Hawkins is gonna come back as a route driver. He's fighting that one, but I don't know, we'll see what happens. So, Mr. President, as you know, public school facilities was on our campus, federal, Mr. Valdez and I did a walkthrough with officials from the state. And although we need a lot of improvements on the campus, and especially the new facilities, hopefully that I'm presenting on Thursday there in Santa Fe. One thing stood out in the district that was really good. We walked into our kitchen area, and the officials from the state said they have never been in a kitchen that was that organized and that clean. statewide. They go into all the schools across New Mexico. So with that said, we would like both Annie and Evie to come up front, and the board is recognizing you with the Student Achievement Award from the school board this year. Did she escape on us or what? She was here. Uh-oh. I have to say that over again.
Don't let anything.
There's Annie.
She escaped on you?
I guess.
Okay. We were able to brag about this lady here too, that I borrowed a spoon out of the cafeteria last summer, and she said, "Who took the spoon?" She doesn't count it. So she does a lot. These ladies do quite a bit, as all of our food service personnel do, and we appreciate it. So. Thank you. You want to take Evie's to her? Okay. So we expect it back next month. Okay, with that, Mr. President, we may take a recess for about 10 minutes or so. We've got a cake there for all the recipients of special recognition, and that time just appreciate them. So,
Okay, so I'll go into 10-minute recess.
and the cake back there, notice the colors, and well, right, it's your school colors. Okay. So who goes first? I think our retirees should go over there and cut the cake and enjoy it. So everyone take a break, get a piece of cake, water, and we'll take a short break.
Okay.
Okay, we're back in session. With board information discussion, teacher presentation, live school recap, and student presentations, Mr. Christian.
Okay, I know that the library presentation has been postponed, so next up would well, you're gonna just cover her or your school later, like later. The next would be Ms. Gallegos, thing on CPE and whatever else she needs.
I'm sorry. Allow. Sorry.
Do you have to get in? Oh, do you have to make me host?
Crystal,
Mhm.
right here,
Mhm.
and then what?
Make host.
Make host. Okay. So do I change host?
So just one out there. I can do that.
Can you?
And you were ready.
Delays on mine, something.
Therese and others online, are you able to hear us?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, Board Superintendent Cushman. It's again an honor to stand before you to share a lot of our CT updates. We just again want to highlight our Systems Go team. They did an amazing job. We're excited. The students came back, reflected, and they have a game plan for next year. So they represented us well. Again, with the career and college opportunity, thanks to our STEM innovation grants, it covered the entire college and career experience. So we were one of 22 schools that received this grant, and so it really has made a difference in providing opportunities for our students within their engineering pathway. We also, our CTSOs hosted a blood drive, so thank you to everyone that supported the blood drive. It was a success. We'll have another one in the fall. We had a couple of our students attend a BPA Smart meeting, and this is with the New Mexico State Association of Parliamentarians. So we have Melissa and Ocean. They received scholarships to attend this meeting to receive training and preparation for the national conference. And so a great opportunity there. We have our BPA National Leadership Conference recap. It was our 60th year for BPA. And the overall theme was amplify your impact. And we have a couple of images. We have our Library students, Durell and Trey. And Durell goes by Jesse. They competed in digital game design. We have Malaysia. And Eva, she competed in economic research development individual. We have our computer animation team. This is Ethan, Janelle, Naomi, and Skyla. We have our middle level website design team. We have Austin, Lila, Kyra, and Bailey. We had our parliamentary procedure team. We had Annalisa, Mia, Ariel, and Ocean. Mia competed in individual digital media production. And we had Vicente and Richie compete in middle level video production. Our parliamentary procedure team, qualifying for nationals and competing at the national level, they had received membership for the National Association of Parliamentarians and have been invited to attend their convention in the fall in Atlanta for an entire day training for students in parliamentary procedure. So we're really excited about all the opportunities. We have our group picture for NLP 2026. All the students received cowboy hats with the BPA logo on the front to celebrate the location, but also the 60th. Next, we're excited to announce that we have finalists. We had Richie and Vicente in the top 10 for middle level video production. And Mia Gallegos placed second in digital media production. So we're really proud of our students. We had a total of 33 students from the state of New Mexico fall into this category as finalists. And for us to have 3, it's, just an honor. They work so diligently, and we're just so proud of our students and the support that we have. Just supporting the entire journey, and they just make us really proud. So, and I'm gonna stop before I get emotional. And then of course we have a couple other conferences coming up. So in June we have our HOSA International Leadership Conference. We have our students competing there, and then in July. For FCCLA, we have for students competing as well. Thank you again for all your support. And I forgot to mention, while the students were in Florida, they were actually able to watch a rocket launch. And so they witnessed Amazon Video launch on Monday night. And the whole goal of Amazon Video was to distribute more satellite for broadband internet in areas that don't have internet services. Yeah. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. I forgot to mention, so Richie, go ahead, stand up for a round, show them your medal, the finalists, and then Mia.
Nothing.
Good job.
I don't care on Gloria. Very nice. No.
Good job.
So do we have any of our kids graduating with the trades program at Northern? Because I know that's happening Friday.
So we don't necessarily, Come back here for the feedback. We don't necessarily have students graduating yet, but hopefully that'll be in the near future.
So students in every state are allowed to submit a PIN design. So each state has a PIN and students are able to go and work and talk to other students from different countries and states to Pinterest. And we brought you guys drives, each a PIN from New Mexico.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, good one, that one.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Going on, principal reports, Cornell Elementary High School principal. Office. Good evening, everyone. So, first of all, I want to thank you guys for everything that you guys have done, and so my report has a lot of the activities coming up. I'm gonna go through all of them. I'm gonna go through I'll capture some of them. The Steve night we had, it was like a great night. I mean, there was we had rack stuff, play music, we had different people coming up with the presented things. It was a great success. The kids had fun. The kids built projects that they were able to share. They were able to meet some other kids from Light Grove. The Light Grove kids brought their project that they worked on. They were able to show how they work. It was a great success. There were a lot of people there. So the STEAM night was a very success. I'm very proud of the kids and the staff that put it on. So, and then another thing I just want to point out is that we had on Monday, we did have our CES lady came and did our last meeting with our staff. She did maybe with a math, she did be meeting with the math teachers. So she did a math PLC just to capture what they've been working on, kind of get them started on preparing for starting their school year next year. So then I just want to point out that some of our college visits that we had planned were canceled due to unforeseen circumstances, but they're gonna be rescheduled. So they're being rescheduled as we speak now. Our activities banquet was postponed until Monday, the 18th. It was supposed to happen on the 14th, but it's gonna be on Monday, the 18th. The same thing with the student council celebration, that was moved to the 27th of May. And I want to thank Michelle Padilla. She's done an outstanding job working with the student council. The kids have really stepped it up. They do a lot of things to help the kids. The older kids help the younger kids. They help when any type of presentations that are being put on. She gets those kids to help in. So she's done good work with those kids. They've showed a really good leadership on that program. Our senior pre-K walkthrough is gonna be on the 21st. So it's gonna be is it the 21st one?
Senior?
Yeah, 19th, May 19th, so that's gonna be happening, so that's gonna be pretty cool to see the pre-K kids and the seniors walking through the halls. Our field day that we had scheduled, we're gonna be rescheduling that as well. Due to some other activities that we want to overschedule ourselves. So we're gonna be discussing, I'll be letting you guys know when that field day is gonna happen. As well, no graduations, the May 22nd, which is gonna be at 10 o'clock on Friday. A promotion for a pre-K promotion here in Guyana is gonna be the 21st at 10 o'clock at the bonus gym. Mr. Mamick is scheduling our end of the year testing, which is probably start next week. I also want to share that Mr. Mamick and Ms. Penn, they did take a group of middle school students to visit our Fort Lewis College. So that was The kids had a lot of, real good time going into the college and talking to different professors, they went to different departments, the science department and so they had a little, enriching for them. And then again, the system is going, guys, heard a lot about the rocket launch, which I think was great. One of the things that I did that the kids know before they left is that these kids, this group of kids, they, and, Ms. Irish and Mr. Chapo working with this group of kids, they made history this year. There was the first team from, Coronado to go and launch a rocket, be successful, and pretty much the first thing, the New Mexico school to go out there and do that, so real proud of them, they did a very good job. Again, some of those kids, they attended the Florida, I was fortunate enough to be able to go with them, had a great time with the kids, the kids were excited to what they saw over there, so it was great. Unfortunately, we had to send 19 laptops to Albuquerque to get them repaired, kids just brought them. So hopefully we'll get those back soon, they're under warranty, so they're being repaired. One thing that I want to point out is that our custodians have been doing a good job of maintaining our campus, our schools, considering that we're down to 2 custodians. I mean, Daniel and Gina have been working really hard to maintain the keeping up the school. It's a lot of work for two janitors, so they've been really working hard, so I really appreciate their hard work. And again, I just want to thank all you guys and the Fairness School District for the opportunity to work here the last few years. I've enjoyed myself, it's been great. And thank you guys, and I stand for any questions.
Any questions? Thank you. Guys. Yes, so go ahead.
Let's see, you have my report, and as usual, our goals are there, and we're actually pretty on track for the 5 goals we've set for ourselves at Librooke in this school year. And I apologize to everyone because I made hard copies and they're safe on my office desk because I ran out the door. So if you want one, I have them. Okay, so important dates, let's see, let's go to May 11 through 14, the IMASA, that was, yesterday, today's Tuesday. We went ahead and finished up most of our IMASA testing, and it was difficult because yesterday we had 5 staff members, gone. And so it's really difficult when your staff is 13 and you have 5 gone. And so, we figured it out, and, the kids were great, and we got our testing done, and we gave them, a 15-minute recess after everything yesterday, because we did 2 ELA sessions and 2, reading sessions instead of today we did math. So they did that, and, the banquet is May 18, not May 14, so you can change that. We have our culture day, and we invite you over to Librooke, May 20th, starting at 10 a.m. So what I have on the agenda is 10 to 12. We're going to have presentations, so you can see a Librooke presentation from each class if you'd like to come. And then at noon is lunch, and I had asked Ms. Vega if she could coordinate, and we can have help from this campus to help serve lunch, because we're inviting the Haley campus over to Librooke that day. So, the spaghetti, so we can have that. And then we also worked with the local CHR person, so she's gonna bring her health fair there. So there'll be 15 booths for the health fair. And I think Miss Kelly's coordinating with your brother to do a band, so does it by, and they and Ms. Irish has also been great just to invite Rackstop to DJ too. So just a heads up. And so let's see. And then of course the Coronado graduation. And then we did get $127 help from the chapter house, Counselor Chapter House. So we're gonna do the Zoom.
And, the trip, just so you guys know, the diesel fuel itself is about $900. And then the bus driver pay is almost $400. And that was for library only. And my original request was for library Guyana. And it was because Guyana had 17 Native American students in campus. So, that's what we got from the chapter house. So, May 27th, promotion will be pre-K, K, and 8th grade. That'll be at 10 a.m. on the 27th. And then, of course, the end of the fourth quarter, we did have two financial, some of the grades in the grade book, so I think we've got that straightened out. And then suggested activities that were from August all the way through the whole school year, from the community, from the chapter house meetings, from students. Those are the things that we're able to do this year, which are the surveys, cultural trips, elementary sports, and then hosting the Eastern Navajo chapter house meeting. Those were those two top pictures on that little section there. And then we did our Native American fashion show. So that was everybody that was in the Native American fashion show, and it went really well. And then, of course, our Native American Literacy Night, which I already told you all about, that was in November. And then the Albino Field Trip was in October. I thought it'd be good to do a comparison of our enrollment for you. So from August 5th to May 5th, that little table shows the numbers in each grade. And then the table underneath it has a comparison. I tried to keep August blue and May green, so that way you could see that in your head. And it was the size of the classes, so that way you could see the difference between first part of the year to the end of part of the year, and then what we would need. And that's supposed to say 2026, 2027 in purple, and I apologize. And those are the dates we have. So we're pretty much ready for next school year, and looking at the pre-K through 8, the superintendent will explain to you. And then let's see, what was the other thing? And then that's it. Okay. And if you go down to the third page, we did do the testing. Where next week will be more testing, and that was requested by the teachers. So that way we can have a third data point to triangulate how well the schools have been done. So that's the second bullet. So May 18, 19, and then the makeups will be the 21st. And that's for kindergarten through 8th grade. So we can compare that data. We're trying to avoid irregularities because I was telling all the students, because like I said yesterday, we had to put more students into the library to test. And I said, put your phone over here on the counter. And I go, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And there's more than 6 of you in this room. And then I said, if you have your phone and if it goes off and everybody's testing, you're going to make everybody have to retake the test, because that's called an irregularity. And we have to self-report that you have your phone and we had to stop the test and we had to restart it again. And so that's what I had to tell the students yesterday. So their phones were locked up in their class phone lockers, and I said, I don't want to be the one to say my phone was in my pocket. I didn't turn it into Miss Ina. And I had made y'all take your test. So that's what the testing irregularity is. So we talked about that. Other updates, the letter from the health education department. If you remember, I said that we had our kitchen inspected and our like food storage and freezer and all that stuff. It hasn't come in. That was from NCAT. We do have a February 23rd report that I had worked with Data to see if we could fix some of those problems. And so we're working on those. And then let's see. Second bullet is all the teacher evaluations are complete. And then the third thing is about the plumbing. And so I get to go visit every single boy in our school because first was, and this is going to be recorded for posterity, is craisins were crammed down. And then that was the first time. I got it fixed, took it out. Second time is blue and pen tops. And I said, blue. So then all the students are like, I don't use pens, I use pencils. And so it was like, okay, I'm letting you all know this is the boys' bathroom. And I go, I don't think the girls are going in there to do this. So that was the story for today. And so there was a lot of grease after all of the dark mucky stuff was removed by JMPS maintenance. And so the Lindrith sewer person came, Julie, she came and she pulled out a lot more grease. And so just again, how many years of lack of attention to the sewer system, and they think that we might have either a shifted pipe or a crushed pipe, and that's what's keeping the sewer backing. So that's kind of the explanation I've gotten just day to day, and telling students, go to that bathroom, this bathroom's closed, and so on and so forth. And then trying to help, if you don't know, our bus driver is also our custodian. So I've tracked his time now. He's doing 13 hours and she's just trying to get everything done. And it's because he comes in the morning to do bus, and his route is 2 hours now. And then he does custodian, and then he does bus, another 2 hours, and then he comes back after his bus route, and he finishes stuff that he still needs to do. So I just wanted to hold him up as well. And just the fact that today he said, I'm just gonna get a cup of coffee. And I said, yep, you go and get a cup of coffee, come back. And so those are the kind of integrity that we have in our staff to be able to serve students for library. So I just wanted to give that to you. And again, anybody that needs a hard copy of my report, I have that in my book, and I can leave that to you. So I stand for question.
Any questions?
So do they have a plan on the, how we're fixing the septic?
I'll address that.
Oh, and what
I'll just.
Oh, there was a camera yesterday. I got to tell the students. There was.
I'd show them pictures, but we just seen.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we got pictures of what was at the urinal, but they cameras, so I threw the pipes, and so they got to see like what's really going on. So yeah.
Thank you. Going on, activity director report.
So it's me tonight, so all I can tell you, we had a couple of kids go to state track, and I don't remember which students it was. Did any of you know which students? Would you tell us?
It was Eli, Jared,
Okay, for 2 days to state track, so that was good, being from a school district that doesn't have a track. You know, we call it home field advantage, you know, we run out in the woods here, right? So, but, so they had a good time. I know I saw one of them with their t-shirt today, and that was good, so. That wraps up the sports season. Now it's BPA, HOSA, FCCLA, all that stuff going on the activities. And as you heard, Monday night will be the activities banquet. And I call it activities because it's not just athletics. And that'll be at 6 o'clock. The main meal is provided by the district. Lasagna dinner, salad, the usual. And we expect the students to bring some good desserts Monday night, and their coaches as well. So I'm sure the moms are gonna be doing all that. So we'll start at 6 o'clock. The board is welcome as well as the general public. So as you know, we had a service, a funeral service here on Saturday, and we again pass our condolences on to all of the family. I saw there was a huge turnout, and it was a good way to recognize one of our community members. His family will continue to reach out and support the family any way we can. So but that's all I have on our activities.
Okay, moving on to information technology. Mr. Fisher.
Yeah, I'm also the IT guy, which is really scary. Is that what we're on? Yeah, okay. As you know, and it's no secrets, I can share it, Sean is out on extended leave with some medical issues that continues, so we've raised our contract with Elite Services. They're coming in 2 or 3 days a week. We've already made some changes in the internet and trying to keep up on student computers. We're making some changes here in the boardroom to get rid of this rat's nest back here and try to make the hookups all better. That will happen over the next several weeks. The biggest issue that we're having is the 120th day reporting that was due right before Sean went on leave, and there was a glitch in the system where he couldn't, and you probably all got the letter from the secretary today. Did you see that letter? Any of you? Okay, you were CC'd on it. So she is basically stating your 120th day report is not in, and that has to be in or we lose out on some funding, and it's quite late. Sean did those final reports. He has not been here, and there's some problems with grades reporting, and I want to thank Beta for really stepping back into that role and She got many of the reports submitted for us, but we're still having a major problem with the 120th day final. And she resubmitted it this afternoon, and it takes 24 hours to find out. Well, it should be less, it should be instantaneous. They say 24 hours to find out if it is accepted, and we go through the whole process again. And she's been working a lot of extra hours on that, and we lead helping this, as well as a couple other school districts. So hopefully I'll have good news to report to you late tomorrow about that being submitted. So, but I am in communication with the Secretary's office on that. I think that's all on technology.
Moving on, media something?
That's me. I guess the main thing right now is we have, we're working with two local contractors. Local is in one is closer to Live and one is closer to this campus. They're really stepping in to help us with the immediate needs of the district while we consider how we're going to staff and fix that department at this point. I met with one of them just before this meeting about remodeling that house on campus that we talked about demolishing, and I think under the current circumstances, we could probably get that done first half of summer and make it livable. And with all the budget considerations, I think that's our best option with that house. Still trying to get a modular house out of the library. Those people were backed up. Recently, I talked about doing a request for proposal from all of the companies in New Mexico, or whoever wants to give us a proposal for a home without having to go through CES. So we're trying to do that in our spare time. And what else we got in the maintenance? The sewer system. It's been quite an adventure. So when Jeremy was still with the district, he was going out and unplugging things. We thought we had a broken pipe in another spot, and filled in. There's 3 tanks. The grease trap has been emptied a number of times. Things get flushed down that shouldn't be flushed down. Ed Tomolo, who's helping us, is the one down. He stuck the camera down with a 50-foot line. I talked to him just before this meeting, and he's not sure which lane it's going down. It's hard to tell, but there's definitely a low spot that's filling up with water. So he has to literally flush that out every couple of days to get the system flowing again. Now I heard a complaint from someone that was pretty irate that said you should have closed school because the sewers are flooding, going all down the hallways and all that. I've been reassured that yes, it did happen overnight where it backed up in a restroom in one hallway and came a little ways out. They cleaned it up immediately. My question to those folks is, if your toilet backs up, do you move out? The answer, of course, is no. And we did have working toilets in other areas of the campus. And Ina has done a good job making sure she has cleaned up, and they're doing all they can to keep that going. I have some questions about the construction quality of that building. Originally, the cast iron pipes that were used in the sewer system, it appears anyway, and they're corroded and rusted out in places. And if that building was built when I think it was how long ago was that building? Can you tell me what year approximately? In the 2000s? Yeah. Okay, so way after cast iron pipes weren't to be used. So there's a problem there. A contractor used cast iron pipes when they should have not have used cast iron pipes. So Ed thinks he's got it located. We're going to get through the school year, and then we're just going to do what we have to do over the summer as far as repairing. And I'm not sure what that's going to entail, but it's quite a process. This morning I was sent some pictures of frankly, we have some students out at the school. Well, I hope it's students and not staff, but stuffing very inappropriate things down the toilets and the urinals. And it was bad. It's major plugs, and it's clear someone's intentionally cramming stuff in, and that's not helping the matter. So Sina is talking to her kids out there, and staff said, guys, this is hurting all of us, and we gotta be not doing that sort of thing. So Anyway, other things, well, we're coming to my report, so that's all I've got.
Thank you. Moving on to business office report, Mr. Reese.
Good evening, thank you. Just an update on what we've been working on, mostly budget, but we'll be bringing that budget, the final budget, we submit it to PED on Tuesday, the 19th. And then we will be bringing it to you on June 2nd for approval. So that will be on the agenda for approval that night. We did have a budget public meeting. We didn't have anybody show up, but we had a few staff members. And so we did the presentation, and that was on May the 4th. So we have involved the community, or tried to involve the community. And again, we will publish it as a public notice for the June 2nd meeting. Tonight you will have the calendar. We've been working on the calendar, the school calendar. You'll see that there aren't many changes. The main change is going to be the week that the spring break is scheduled, and that'll be in March. So the calendar is on for approval tonight, pending the union validation. So we are asking for that tonight for approval. And if you guys have any questions of the presentation, I emailed it to you so that you would have just the overview that we presented to the community. Basically what the revenues are, what our expenditures are going to be, what position we are. And it just basically said that the new money we're getting is spent. So it's already spent on cafeteria unemployment, the salary increases, and of course the health insurance contributions, where the district now pays 80% of all health premiums for the employees. Prior, they were based upon salary. So the higher the salary, the less percentage the district paid. And the legislature passed the rule that this year the districts will begin paying 80% of all premiums, health insurance premiums. So we anticipate statewide, probably even this district, is that now that that's the case, more people will probably sign up on open enrollment, because it's going to be so much cheaper for staff or teachers and some of the higher paid employees to take the school insurance, since the district is matching 80%. In that budget presentation, I did show some information that I like to share with the board as well, regarding the average teacher salary, the average EA salary, and the benefits. We talked about at the budget hearing, you think, oh, the average teacher salary is 60 something thousand or 70,000. Well, by the time you add all the benefits and everything, it's over $100,000 for a teacher. EAs, it's a more cost than you think as well. So I just like for you guys to have that information so you'll understand and know that that's the data from the district payroll. I stand for any questions.
Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on, finance committee report documents. Mrs. Reese.
We had our finance committee meeting last night. We had a lot of discussion, and I will let Sandy or Lucy jump in and do the report as far as what they got out of the committee meeting.
Well, we had a lot of discussion about pitfalls and the shortfalls with the proposed budget, and as Jerry's alluded to, it's pretty much spent everything that we have for next year. And then kind of started discussing about thinking out of the box and how we can help with the cafeteria solution, but that already being in the negative. And then we recommend approval of the items we found in the agenda.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to audit committee report. Vincent?
We did have the audit committee meeting the other night, and I will let Antoinette speak to that if she would like. But basically, we just presented the audit findings and went over our plan and what our corrective actions are going to be and what we're implementing as far as trying to get those resolved. But I'll hand it over to Antoinette if she would like to make a comment.
So we just went over each finding and Reese just explained to us how they're planning on fixing it, so we can get rid of findings. So I thought it was pretty informational. So I think we have a good plan forward.
It's still a lot better than I have in the past after that meeting. We had some answers to those findings. We haven't had that before. And some of the actions were already being taken before we actually got the audit, so that's good.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on. Superintendent report, Mr. Cushman.
Okay. I'm gonna go up to the top, but just notes here. I already mentioned 120th day report. Hopefully we'll have good news tomorrow. I don't need to remind everyone again, graduation is May 22nd. It is a required day for all staff. Unless they have some kind of emergency that's pre-approved or, that kind of thing. There are 3 of our employees that I've already approved leave for various important family reasons or whatever, but all staff are expected to be here. That counts as one of their in-service days that was on the contract calendar. And I want them here no later than 9:30 at graduation day and expect them to stay at least a half hour after it's finished so that we're not just rushing in and rushing out. And the staff will be, the whole district staff will be sitting in a block in Leopardston. So that's our plan. So we got that going on, and I guess I'll just go in the order I have them written out here. As you know, PSFA did the walkthrough this Thursday in 2 days. Doris and I will be at a meeting with the Public School Capital Outlay Council. I was at the PSCOC's. He's way. Joe Guillen is actually the chair of that committee. I called him this afternoon to ask him for any input that he could give, because we're limited, it's supposed to be limited to 8 minutes and certain other requirements where I was the only one to sit at the table. I asked him about that. He said, "Who told you that?" And that was the PSFA. He said, "No, your business manager or whomever you want can sit at the table for presentations." So I'm breathing a sigh of relief because Doris will be there with me to answer financial questions, and hopefully one of our bond counsel from RBC will as well. And we don't know what time they're gonna have us up there. I was told to be there as soon as it starts, 8 or 8:30 in the morning, and they could move us up or back or whatever they were at the whim of the council. So hopefully after that presentation, we'll have good news on all the match monies and stuff and bond sales and that sort of thing. We do need to clear out these old buildings. That's a must, and we need to do it sooner than later. So this summer, our goal will be to get those buildings cleared out. Had the staff at both campuses has had plenty of opportunity to come in and get all the things they think would be helpful in their classroom, furniture, books, that sort of thing. So we're still packing things up to take to the library, and teachers here are taking a lot of things out. I am going to come before you to ask for the okay a little later to do a sale. And we can donate all the items in that building are off of inventory, but we still have to do an inventory, another inventory present to the state and say we've sold these things and given them away, excuse me. So I'd like to offer them to the nonprofits in our community in the school district boundaries. That'd be churches, senior facilities, whatever, any of the nonprofits that we can legally donate to. And then rather than an auction or just throwing stuff away, it kind of throughout, auctions are a pain, can be. So get a few staff members that can go to various stores here and just have like a $2 set. That desk, you want it, $2. Chairs, if you can carry a stack of them, $2. A box of books, $2. We don't care what it is, but as they're on their way out, we can write down what went out the door. And that would do a little bit of fundraising for the district, but mainly clear out the building. Because my experience is in every rural community, there's plenty of people that like junk. So take it, and they'll find a use for it, and, you know, one man's trash is another one's treasure, so. That's what I'm gonna ask you, if we can just do a simple sale like that. We already have plans for the playground equipment, so I don't wanna hear from anybody on that on a sale, that will not be sold. That way, probably it's plans to go to a couple of the churches in the area, if it's approved. As a donation, which we can legally do, and a couple of items like that, so. That have been requested, and if we can meet those needs, we'll do that. That plus that benefits our kids long-term in the community by having that out there. You've already heard about Systems Go and VPA. Athletic thing with it. Mr. Oath is planning basketball camps, specifically with the girls, the boys coach. Is he planning camps, do you know?
I understand that he is,
The same one in Durango? Or?
yeah, I'm not sure if the same one, but he's planning about.
Okay, Mr. Oath has the girls scheduled to go to Fort Lewis. I think it's at Fort Lewis for a basketball camp that a lot of districts go to. And tied in with that would be some visits to businesses and the school in Farmington. And using the out of school grant that we have to spend off by the end of June, usually we lose it. And we've also got 2 or 3 other trips planned with YCC kids. And we're in the works on planning some other career visits down in the Santa Fe area for our students. Okay, this is the part some of our audience I think is here to hear, but on budget and open positions in the district, I'll just jump down to this budget. Library has some immediate needs with the sewer system, which we've already addressed. I have no idea what the cost of that would be, but we'll try to keep it down. But, you know, we're talking about maybe jackhammering out some floors if it's under the building and replacing main lines. I'm not sure how deep entailed that'll be, but we'll find out and make sure that's operational. Our budget is extremely tight, so we've discussed a lot of options for library, and one that there's been a lot of false rumors out in the community because people chose to hear part of the conversation and not all. I'll just say it that way. The plan at Library currently is we have a couple of options with the upper grades. Discuss this with union representation, the administration. We discussed it a little bit at the budget meeting. Number one would be to remove 7th and 8th grade from Library. As you know, we did not have a certified teacher at 7th and 8th grade this year. But we could move the 7th and 8th graders over here. That's one option. And I'll just say logically, financially, really that makes the most sense financially. But that's a long process, and that's it literally takes probably 6 months to a year to get approval from PED to do a major structural change. And I have been talking to both the Secretary's office and the Secretary of Indian Education about our various options. Another option is to combine 6th, 7th, and 8th grade under one teacher whom we already have on staff and get an EA in there to help her. And that's the current plan for this next year, for the next fiscal year. Now, that said, we are an open enrollment state, so parents have the option to enroll their kids in any public school they want to, whether they live in the district or not. And so, just to be clear, we're going to make sure all the parents at Library know they have the option in our district of having their kids at Library, like it is now, or putting them on the bus that we are running for the high school that comes over every morning. If they choose to do that, they would have that option as well, so they could have their kids on either campus, their choice. But that's probably what we're gonna, well, it is what we're planning to do for this next school year. A few other things, we're tightening up the budget all over. I went through the stipend list for all the coaching positions and the costs of travel and so on. We had a discussion a year ago about intramural sports, and we have no intramural sports on this campus. Or not intramural, we have no athletics at the elementary level from this campus. where the kids travel and go to various things. The Pee Wee basketball is not a district activity. And that's at both campuses. At Liebrook, the 3rd through 5th graders have been traveling quite a bit and been part of the league that's over on that side of the state. We are eliminating that out of the budget. It was very costly to the district. And it's hard to have elementary kids traveling anywhere. So the budget you're going to be presented will have eliminated the 3rd through 5th grade traveling sports. And that also eliminates those coaching positions for 3rd through 5th grade. I think it's just 3rd through 5th, right? Not lower than that. They traveled 3rd through 5th grade. Okay, and if the community chooses to have intramural sports, we would do the same thing we've offered here, like with the baseball, softball, whatever. If parents want to do that, we'll help out with making facilities available where we can and so on, but that would not be under the district and no fiscal responsibility in the district. We just can't afford it. And that would keep both campuses with the same programs. The other thing I am looking into and believe we should do is bring the 6th, 7th, 8th grade sports back under the NMAA umbrella rather than the, I think it's called the Navajo League over there. Four Corners League. Okay, I couldn't remember the actual name. It's called Four Corners League, but it's mostly over the Navajo Nation, right? Involvement. Okay. And if we bring mid-school sports back under NMAA, such as BPA is under the New Mexico Activities Association, FFA, basketball, and so on. That would allow our coaches at both campuses, they plan games, they have the same middle school games at the same location. And we have to work it out. We either have double games, like they go to alternative school or to charter school up in the Farmington, Kirtland area. Not just Liebrook goes, but both campuses go. The bus leaves here with our kids, goes through Liebrook, picks those kids up, goes on that direction. One bus instead of two. Coming the other direction, we do the opposite. Pick up the Liebrook kids and pick up the Coronado kids, go on to Mesa Vista. So I'm not sure what all's involved. I think we can easily make the transition back to the NMAA with the Liebrook campus. That also helps to unify our campus and ensure that equity with both campuses. So, and it will save us quite a bit of money on travel in the long run. So those are a few things we're planning on budget. Any questions about athletics or?
So going back to if you have 6th, 7th, and 8th under one teacher and one aide, how many kids is that?
What did we say? 19 total of the multi-age. And there's pros and cons to multi-age classrooms. I personally taught and helped open an alternative school in Las Cruces 15 years ago. And I taught and did some administrative work at that school. It was 6th, 7th, 8th grade. Every one of our classes was multi-age. And you might have an 8th grader who's performing at a lower level. You might have a 6th grader who's performing higher level, and you need to make sure you have a highly trained, high quality, competent teacher in that classroom because it's work.
So do we have that?
We do have that teacher, and we think we have an EA for the position as well. So that's the plan here. But again, offering those parents the opportunity, if they don't care for that arrangement, they can have their kids go on our bus and come over here. Okay, so offering that up as an option. And then I'm taking I'm going to take the lead of the Secretary of Indian Ed, although her term is up with this governor at the end of the calendar year. But she and I have had those discussions about how to do community input and staff input and make sure fiscally, they want to see us fiscally sound as well. So we need to be very cognizant of the fact that there's no money, no extra. So, okay. That answer your question? Let's see. I mentioned housing. Okay, personnel. Mr. Oaf, I mentioned, is doing these camps this summer. Hopefully the boys basketball will do some camps and maybe even volleyball. We're filling our open positions. We still need to make arrangements for the pre-K at library. I would love for nothing more than, the state to give us another waiver to have Miss Elwell doing that combination. She's done some great things with the pre-K. You heard those at the report a little bit, but, I may have an option that we're discussing, and if we get state approval, I'll present that next month. Our 3-4 teacher out there, Miss Ella, had to go back to the Philippines. She's working through her visa issues and so on. And she is to let us know no later than June 15th if she's returning to the school. She wants to, we would love to have her back. You heard there's a custodial position. If anyone knows a person who wants to do custodial work, we need someone out there. We need people on both campuses. We also need a route driver. Oh, wait, no, we don't. Mr. Hawkins. For next year. I don't know, we're twisted on his arm a little bit. But seriously, we do need a route driver. Now, there is a question about bus routes out there. Most of the kids at Liebrook, you just gotta be very transparent here, are from out of district. You know, they choose to come to our school. We've been running a bus out of district for, I don't know, probably forever. At least that anyone can remember, a long time back. To do that legally, you have to have an MOU with the districts those kids are coming from to be able to run a bus into their districts. I can't find the MOU, the state can't find the MOU, Cuba can't find the MOU, and Bloomfield can't find it. Vivian has told me she remembers when it was approved a long time ago, 25, 30 years ago. It may be defunct, whatever the case, I'm sure it needs updating. We are technically not supposed to be running a bus to pick up kids from out of district without an MOU in place. We're trying to figure that out to see if we can get a new one in place or what our options are. If we can't do that, the state is very likely to say you cannot run a bus to those kids, which the option, the parents can still send their kids to us, but we can only run a bus to the district boundary. So
will that, are we gonna finish off the year still doing?
we're fine this year. And I don't know what's gonna happen here early summer. I've been in talks with public school transportation about that. And we may be coming to you to approve a new MOU. I was told to hold off on that and see if the state can find it. Or Cuba Schools is trying to find it, but there's no record of it. Memorandum of understanding. Or it could be a memorandum, an MOA, a memorandum of agreement. Sorry, acronyms. But that would be the worst case, is that our bus can only go to the furthest stop. That's the same issue we have on the other side of the district with the Espanola kids coming over. I would like to get an MOU with Espanola, but they're changing superintendents. And I think they're hanging on to as many kids as they can. But if we could send a bus down to Abiquiu, I think we'd pick up 40 kids overnight, you know. But those are all things we're trying to work on. And I told you before, I don't care if 88 other districts are doing it, as long as I'm here, we're gonna follow the rules. So we have to do it. And it's tough, those are tough decisions, but and we'll see. And if we don't have a second route driver, I've already talked to Ms. Montoya about, I don't believe it's right to say kids were gonna start school late, you know, when we have to run a double run. So if we do have an MOU and we can't find a certified driver, our other option, if that's in place, is to pay feeder route money and have those parents bring their kids to the nearest stop that we can get them picked up at or to the school. But there, you know, that's kind of a headache too, and you got to make sure those fundings are covered through transportation. So it's a lot to work through, and we're doing the best we can to make that successful. Hired a new principal. Just a few days ago, we had 4 finalists, had a committee, we had a union representative, we had the ladies in the office there. I can't remember who all was on the committee now, but I had other folks, including this guy who's helped me go through the individuals that applied. We had many applications. We had many unqualified applicants that we went through, narrowed it down to 4. And to put it frankly, I talked to our board president about this, but the person I thought was gonna do the best was the worst of the interviews. I was very surprised by that. And another person I thought would probably end up just on paper being our top choice was our 3rd choice. The individual we hired, or I hired, is Daniel Garcia. He's coming to us from the Grants School District, very highly regarded. He's been at Grant Schools for a number of years. He's been working with Laguna Acoma and the school down there under Grants. We're gonna officially introduce him at the activities banquet Monday night. He'll be here already. He's gonna start early, and he's gonna just dive in with Mr. Hawkins for the rest of this calendar year or fiscal year, and kind of learn the ropes. Mr. Hawkins and several of our staff and students got to meet him yesterday. We did a walkthrough, and I heard a lot of good words on that from just feedback in general. And I don't know if either of you two in the back row have anything to add to that, or what?
No, I think he's gonna be a good fit for the program.
So he's excited to be here, and let's see, I'm glad because now we have a representative on the New Mexico Coalition for the Educational Leaders Golf Team. And I'm not a good goal, but yeah, he'll be here. We'll get him introduced. And he has a daughter at Santa Fe Indian School, so he's very happy to be closer to her, and just excited to be here. And another plus is he needed a house, but he's gonna move into the Lindgren house. So we got that rented out, and gives us another option here on this campus. So, okay. I also hired a building secretary assistant for that office. We had a committee, had about 6 or 7 applicants, interviewed 4 of them. I wanted to make sure I'm very clear. One of them was related to a staff member. And she interviewed quite well, and we were impressed, trying to talk her into coming into another position. Going forward, we'll see what happens there. And our new principal participated in the interviews. It was a unanimous decision. And I had to check with legal counsel to make sure we were legal, because she is related to a board member. She's the wife of Mr. Valdez. And I intentionally, we didn't discuss any, I just want to be on the record, we did no discussions of interviews and all that. In fact, he was very clear up front when she wanted to apply. But I checked with legal counsel to make sure we could hire an immediate relative. And the answer is yes, because she's already on board in the district. She's been doing a couple of different positions for us and substituting and coaching, and that qualifies as an employee. So that was my decision. But really the new principal was the final say on the whole thing. And we want to welcome Katie to the staff. She'll be our new front office person. So any questions about any of that? Okay. Normally I wouldn't clarify all that, but I know that someone out there will have a question. They always do if you hire anyone related to a board member. So I just want to make it very clear why we're doing what we're doing. So we're looking forward to that. And she has 4 kids in school too, which is even better. You gonna have more kids? No, I don't have that. Yeah, I saw that. Look, that's, they have a sister that said she was gonna stop at 4 and they have 7. The good news, she now has 13 grandkids. So anyway, pre-K is canceled tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay, I hope you got a phone call. That's because we have staff that are out. We're very short-handed, just trying to get through the rest of the school. Let's see. Still discussing trying to get the district on maintenance. You'll hear, well, I don't know if you'll hear from Doris. I separated out with union input or information. We're separating the custodial and maintenance salary schedules. Want to separate those positions so that we have custodians that do cleaning and upkeep and basic light maintenance, and that maintenance department focuses on maintenance instead of being drawn different directions. Now, that said, we are exploring the option of contracting our maintenance. We discussed that the whole year, now, and we are discussing the pros and cons of also the calendar, which you'll be presented with on the maintenance and custodian calendar under work schedule. I would like those approved as flex calendars, meaning I can tell them don't come in on Monday or Thursday or whatever for, you know, one day a week for the next month, because we need you to work 4 days during Christmas break or spring break for painting and shampooing carpet, refurnishing floors, that sort of thing, when kids aren't here. But that's the only change in that calendar. Ms. Gagos, did I have anything I missed on that?
I think we're pretty much set. It's pretty similar to last year's.
Oh, and one last thing, on the salary schedule for maintenance, I would, like you did with the teacher schedule last year, is I would like you to remove the limit on the number of years of experience from out of teacher. Right now, I think it's 10 on the maintenance custodial. I would like to make the maintenance, whatever they have. Like, we need to attract, move it up, but that's a way to do it without bumping all the salaries up. Okay, and hopefully we can attract people with some certifications and other qualifications. That's all I've got in my report. It's a lot, but thanks for listening.
Then moving on to policies, updates and discussions, any updates on?
Just the ones I just mentioned with the changes.
Then moving on to discussion and action items. One, approval of special education policy and procedures. Rebecca Gibson.
Thank you. Are you on?
Yeah, I'm here. So, good evening, President Corver, members of the board, and Superintendent Cushman. Every year, we have to update the special ed policies and procedures, and I think they emailed them to you. They're very long. Walsh Gallegos puts in all the changes to meet the legislators, whatever changes they made in during the last legislative session. So basically, this year, the big change is the child find. They wanted us all to identify our child find procedures really well. That's on page 94 of those policies. So every year we have to have you guys approve them. Does anyone have any questions on those? Did anyone read those? They're pretty long. Does anybody have any questions on those policies?
No question.
What? My internet is cutting in and out, so I might have to have you repeat things.
Okay, no, they don't have any questions, so we're gonna recommend approval.
Motion. Motion by
Okay.
Sandy. Second by Anthony, on favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Moving on to the new DLB insurance budget, Ms. Gibson.
Yeah, so with our budget for special ed, the federal money, we have to, it says we're gonna follow all the rules and play nice with PED that they set down that we need to do, and we're going to spend our money right. So that's what that is. It's some, the board president has to sign that one.
And I just want you to know, as a board, that again, I've worked with many special ed directors, and I don't know how this district has managed over the years to get highly qualified, the number of highly qualified individuals that we have in the district. But Ms. Gibson, she knows special ed, and she makes sure that we're doing the best we can to meet the needs of our students. So she's recommending approval, and I second that.
Okay, do I have a motion?
Excellent.
Motion by Anthony, second by Mr. Pedro. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Moving on to the approval of fiscal year 25-26 JMSD finance audit contract, Mr. Manning. Was it for?
That's the renewal of the contract. Reese, do you need to throw any comments in there on the approval of the audit?
No, I just wanted to advise that this is the last year that we can have Mr. Manning as the auditor based on the prior RFP that was done for the district. So this time next spring, we will be going out for RFP for a new auditor. So this is the contract for this year. It's been signed and approved by the state auditor, so we want it on record with the board to approve the contract with Mr. Manning.
Do you have a motion? Motion by Mr. Sandy, second by Anthony, all in favor? Motion carries. Moving on, from the 48-hour deposit waiver request.
Yes, you approved this waiver last year and we submitted it to PED so that we could have up to 24 hours to deposit the funding due to the distance from the bank. I've just highlighted the requirements. So that is what we're asking for. The exception is that we have 48 hours rather than the 24 hours, and this has to be approved by PED, the waiver. So we'll be submitting this upon your approval.
Any questions? Hearing the motion. Motion by Sandy, second by Pedro, all in favor? Motion carries. Moving on to 5 fiscal year 26-27 Soul Calendar.
We presented a calendar in your packets, and under the current calendar, we kept the day in there for training of new employees to the district in spite of years of experience. And then planning at the beginning of the year, 3 days of in-service, 3.5 days of in-service, over a 3-day period, much like we did last year, but with a retreat type setting in Albuquerque, which it would be great if board members would like to participate. If 3 or more of you will, I will announce it, so we'll stay legal. And then the school year starting on August 3rd, and we would do that as a night like we did last year, where we started 2 or 3 in the afternoon and do through the evening with many schedules at both campuses and kind of an open house feel to it, and welcome back and signing all the documents, all that kind of thing, and then just go through the schedule as presented with the appropriate work days. Moving spring break is probably the biggest change. Moving spring break to that final full week of March to coincide with state basketball and that sort of thing, so that we're not missing more school days, because we have a lot of staff and students that love to go to state basketball. Yeah, it has been. I don't, know the ins and outs, but it changed over time. So you can see the other standard days off on there, and so on, with graduation on, I believe, May 21st. And then 3 days of school the following week for the rest of the students instead. And so the union has looked at it. Have they ratified this yet, or it'd be pending?
With the salary schedules, it'll go through the ratification process.
Okay, so I recommend approval of the calendar pending ratification by the union.
We have a motion. Motion by Pedro, second by Lucy, all in favor? Motion carries. Moving on to number 6, approval of changing employee pay to 24 checks or 26 checks as per board policy.
I'll let Elise address this issue.
When we were working with the auditor this year, we discovered that the board policy says employees will be paid in 24 checks. And I don't know how long they've been paid in 26 checks, but we've all visited in the central office and talked to the union about going back to board policy for 24 checks versus 26. There were 2 months out of the year where the employees received an additional check. So they basically were paying bi-weekly rather than semi-monthly. It did create a few problems going 26 checks, because on those 2 extra checks, you have to turn off all the benefits for the employee deductions, because all the premiums, all the state deductions are calculated on 24 payments. So that will make it a little easier in the payroll, and we're going to get this information out to the employees so they understand. But basically, I think it's going to be on, we have to choose the 2 days of the month. It's been suggested on the 10th and the 25th. So we'll finalize that and get all that information out to the employees.
So with that understanding that those 2 days could be changed with some more discussion, I recommend approval of going to the 24th papers to meet our own policy.
Motion by Lucy, second by Sandy, all in favor? Motion carries. Moving on to adjusting journal entries.
I recommend that you approve the journal entries as presented, number 6 to 8
through 7/19.
through 7/19.
No motion. Motion by Sandy. Second. By Pedro, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Moving on, budget journal entries, we'll take number 67 to number 84. Motion by Sandy, second by Sandy, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Moving on to discussion of approval of bars. Number 0057 to 0091. Motion by Lucy, second by Pedro, all in favor? Motion carries. Okay. Moving on to executive session. Ms. Sandy?
Executive session notice is hereby given at the end of the month. Public Board of Education will meet in executive session. Pursuant to section 10-13-1H of the Public Meetings Act as follows. Discuss limited personnel matters as permitted under section 10-15-1H2 of the New Mexico Open Meetings Act, specifically for the superintendent to update the board regarding the status of investigations of employee on admin. How do we vote?
Before you vote, Mr. President, I would like to get the okay to let Ellen go home and also to state for the record that there is no action after executive session. The only announcement is the next regular board meeting, which will move to June 2nd. So any of the public that are on the line, don't look into that.
How do we vote? Mr. Randy Workman?
Yes.
Ms. Sanchez? Yes. Sandy, yes. Ms. Lucy? Yes. Mr. Better?
Yes. Okay, the time is 7:56, before we go into executive session.